And welcome back into Coleman Today. I'm Debbie Wood, and our very special guest this morning is representing Life South, and her name is Shannon Mobley. She is here this morning. I read an article just recently that said blood shortage near emergency levels. And Shannon, welcome to our community. And that really bothered me when I saw that. I thought, wow, that's happening in our community, and we don't know when one of our loved ones might need the services of Life South. Well, you know, what's going on? Is it the time of the year, or?
It's a lot of factors going into that. The time of the year, there is an urgent need, which means a 2 to 3 day supply on the shelves of the hospitals, and that's for O negative and A negative. That's urgent. That means only 2 to 3 days are on the shelves of the hospital. Now, the critical need, which means less than a 2 day supply, is B negative. And as a donor recruiter, it's my job, along with my co-recruiter Sherry Hammonds, to go out in Morgan, Lawrence, and Coleman counties to promote blood donation, go to the high schools, go to area businesses, companies, community groups.
Right.
We try to cover a lot of area. We are always looking for new ways to have blood drives, make it fun for our donors to come on the bus.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to get people on the bus.
Sure.
My husband was a perfect example. He works in Madison, and he has a company that he works for, and he just didn't get it. They have blood drives out there, and he says, well, I go every 56 days. I don't understand what the problem is. I said, well, you are rare. I said, it's a little tougher to get folks, and we understand that. You're asking companies to pull people out of their workspace, off the lines, and to do something for their community. And sometimes that's a little bit of a tough sell, but you know, the people of Coleman and Morgan and Lawrence are just wonderful.
Wonderful.
We have so many great community partners: 3M, GE, Utaka, Rock 10, hundreds and hundreds of small businesses that allow us to come out. Walgreens is a fantastic community partner. We have wonderful people that are always working with us to try to get the blood donation to grow. In these counties. So a lot of people don't realize that the blood supply isn't just there.
Right, exactly.
It's got to be donated, tested, and on the shelves of the hospital before it's ever needed.
Right. And what time frame are we talking about? From if I donate this morning, how long does it take to get on that shelf?
That's a terrible question for me right now, so don't ask me that.
It's probably a while, isn't it?
It is. It's I don't know the statistic on that because I don't pay attention to that.
It's okay. But more than likely, it does take a while.
That's not going to be in this, is it?
No, you're good. You're good. But more than likely, it does take a little while in order to get it on there.
It does. It's got to be donated. The tubes have to be tested for over 60 diseases. That's going to get tested in our labs, and the blood, by the time that comes back, it'll be ready to go onto the shelves. And each part of the blood component has a different shelf life, and a lot of people don't realize that either.
Exactly.
But one of the things that most people don't realize is that the weather can have a huge impact on the blood supply.
Sure.
Earlier this year, when we had all of the horrible winter storms that just crippled the Northeast and kind of did a number down here as well in Alabama, you know, we are absolutely, it's a very panicky feeling when you're a donor recruiter and when you work for a blood bank, because you know that that's going to absolutely bring a stop to the blood supply.
Right.
People can't get out. They can't, the blood mobiles can't go out. They're locked down. The centers aren't opening because it's not safe for their techs to travel to the center. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Well,
it's a very, very delicate balance with the weather, the holidays. People think that the holidays are, well, it would be easy.
Well,
people want to give. They want to do things. I'm donating toys.
Right.
So why is this difficult? It is the most compassionate thing that you can do for your community to donate blood.
Absolutely.
And it takes a little time.
Sure.
It's not something that you can rush. From start to finish, from the time you get on the bus and register and do your interview, get your blood pressure checked, get your iron checked, and the actual donation process, you're looking at 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
So sometimes people are a little hesitant, and that's what my job and my co-recruiter's job is to convince people to get on that bus.
Right.
And convince them of how important it is to donate blood.
Absolutely.
It has to be from volunteers. You can't manufacture blood. And it's got to come from generous people who donate their time and donate of themselves.
Of themselves, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I think the story about your husband, that he thinks that everybody does that. He gives every 56 days. How many, has he been doing that for years?
He has, and what's really funny is we used to live in Dallas, and he would just come in and say, yeah, we had a blood drive today. And he never pressured me to donate. He never said, why don't y'all have blood drives? Why aren't you donating? Why don't you come with me? Never. And that's my job, is to ask those questions. And 90% of the time, the reason people don't donate is because nobody's ever asked.
Nobody's ever asked, absolutely.
The number one reason that people do donate is because it makes them feel good about themselves. It's, it's right up there. If people have so much going on, football practice, volleyball, whatever, meetings, they work all day. We know they're tired. We know it takes a lot. But it's just asking them to make that small amount of time to come on the bus and literally save 3 lives. Every unit of blood that's donated saves 3 lives because it's separated into different components.
Oh my goodness.
Red blood cells, plasma, and platelets. And a patient is only going to get the component that they need. And that is LifeSouth's main concern, is connecting our donors with our patients. So save the life of 3 patients. I never knew that. That's such a good thing. Sort of walk us through, if I'm walking up to the bus and I come in, and tell me sort of what the process will be once I get on the bus. Well, you're going to get on the bus and be met with wonderful smiling faces. Myself.
Make you feel calm.
Absolutely. We're here to answer any questions you may have. We have wonderful techs. They work harder than anybody I know.
I bet.
It's a very hard schedule to have, but these folks do it. They do it with a smile on their face, and they're so wonderful with our donors. You're going to come on. We need a photo ID. You're going to sit down and register for about 5 minutes, where we'll get your information on your address and certain things like that. And then you're going to take your paperwork and go into a private room that's confidential, and you'll be asked a lot of personal questions. You'll also get your blood pressure taken, and you'll get your iron checked, and all of that is to make sure that you're eligible to donate that day. That being said, there are so many misconceptions about blood donation. People think that if they have diabetes, they have high blood pressure, I'm on too much medication. I hear that every day.
Yes, I heard that.
Most of the time, they're fine. You can donate if you're diabetic. You can donate if you have high blood pressure. But everything has to fall into place that day. When they check your blood pressure, it's got to be at an appropriate level. Medications, you just have to come in and take a moment and sit through the interview and go through those medications. Very rarely does your medication exclude you from donating.
Wow, okay. Did not know that.
Some blood thinners and antibiotics will automatically knock you out. But there are some stipulations on blood thinners, so always ask. But people just think, oh, I just take too much. I take a painkiller for my knee or whatever. Those are all okay. We're regulated by the FDA. We have a whole list of questions that we ask you. And if you come through that interview and you're deemed eligible to donate, you will get to save 3 lives. And there's just nothing better. There's just nothing better. And we try to make it really pleasant for our donors. We have a really nice, cool bus in the summertime that's wonderful. We have plenty of snacks and juices and water. We also try to give really nice donor gifts. And every month there's usually something different. We've got, t-shirts.
Love the t-shirt.
We've got caps, we've got gym bags, we've got lunch totes. So every month there's something different, and we really try to make it a neat experience for our donors so that they want to come back. And our goal isn't that you come donate one time a year. You can donate every 56 days. And that's our goal, is to turn a one time a year donor into every 56 days if possible.
Do we keep up with that date, or do you send us something if we start?
You'll leave the bus with a sheet that has post-donation information, a phone number you can call for any questions, and it'll have your blood pressure and your iron count on there, as well as the next date of your donation.
Wonderful. So
and
it's
you
right
can
there for you.
always call the 800 number and ask when you're eligible again. And you know what? If you don't have time to do that and you see the bus and you're not sure if you're eligible, step on the bus and we can check right then.
Check it and see.
But another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that we have a really great program for our high schoolers, and it's called the Cord of Courage. And with the Cord of Courage, if you donate 4 times and donate 4 whole units, in your 9th through 12th grade years
Ninth
before
through
you
12th.
graduate,
Right.
you will earn a Cord of Courage
That
honor
is
cord
neat.
to wear at graduation, and that's
That is
really
great.
neat. We want to acknowledge the teenagers that take the time
Sure.
to acknowledge how important it is to keep the blood supply up on the hospital
Right.
shelves of North Alabama. And this is just our way of really trying to recognize them and making them feel special, because they are
Right.
special. I never donated as a teenager.
Right, I didn't either.
Nobody ever asked me to. So
Exactly. So do you go into the schools then and
we do. We
explain
will
the
go into
program?
the schools and we will do what's called 5 Points of Life presentations, and we can
Okay.
do it kindergarten through 12th grade.
Okay.
We're happy to do that. Just call us and set it up. We can come in. We have age-appropriate activities for each group we come into.
I agree.
That's part of our job as a recruiter, to kind of help mold the donation generation,
Okay,
is what we
great.
call them. It's difficult because now that I see how important all of this is, now that I have this job, I didn't before. So I understand how easy it is just to
Just
put it
don't
at the
think
back
about
of-
it.
yeah.
Someone else is taking care of all
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
But now that I see, I mean, every day I learn something new. Every day I'm amazed by how generous people can be.
Oh, absolutely.
And the way that Coleman County turns out for us is fantastic, and
Good.
Morgan County and Lawrence County. A lot of people don't realize that Life South provides all the blood for Coleman Regional Medical Center, Huntsville
Right.
Hospital, Decatur, Morgan, and Lawrence Medical Center.
Okay.
We provide their blood. So the blood that you donate, when you step on our buses and go into our centers, it stays local. It stays in the region where you donate it.
Great. Great.
And a lot of people really don't realize
They
it. They think they're donating blood and it's getting shipped out somewhere.
Sure. And it used to be that way, I think, years ago.
It is
didn't
right
So,
here. We are your community blood
great.
center.
Wonderful. Do we need to know before we come in what type our blood is?
No.
We don't have to know that.
No.
You find that out for
You'll
us.
be typed right there, and
Okay.
you'll know the basic type that you are. Within 72 hours, you'll be able to call in and see whether you're positive or negative.
Right.
That has to be done in the lab.
Right.
So you don't have to know it. You know, really, they will go through every single question
All
that's on
there
the
for you.
questionnaire. One other thing that we always have a problem with is tattoos and piercings. There is not a deferral if you get those done in a licensed shop in Alabama. You
Okay.
can literally get your tattoo in a licensed shop and step out the door and donate.
Wow.
And that always tends to blow people's mind.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised. Now, when you say licensed,
Licensed by the FDA.
Okay.
We're also regulated by the FDA.
okay.
So they are making sure that the shops that give tattoos are hygienic,
Doing what they're
and
doing.
the sanitary process is observed, and there's
Okay.
no issues with providing then a donor donating blood and being transfused to a
Oh,
patient.
wow. Okay.
So that's the main concern, is making sure that our patients will be safe when the blood's transfused to them.
Absolutely, absolutely, and y'all do a wonderful job of that. And
Thank you.
we want to get that word out there to our community, is that Life South does take care of everything. I mean, they're just so good about that. And I know that I'm AB negative, which is very, very rare. And you probably could use my blood.
AB negative is less than 1% of the
Yeah.
U.S. population.
See, it's so rare. So what's going to happen to me if I need that blood? Is, can you use other blood for folks that are negative like that?
The most needed by the hospitals are type O blood types.
Right.
O negative is the universal donor, which
yeah.
everybody knows. O positive can go to any positive blood type.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
they are in constant need at the area hospitals.
Absolutely. So if you have been thinking about donating and just keep putting it off, now's the time to think about doing it. And I know in our paper you've got some blood drives coming up.
We do. We're going to be at the Walmart on Olive Street
Okay.
on Sunday, starting at 1
Great
o'clock.
time to
And
do
we're
it.
also going to be at the Sweet Tater Festival all day
Good.
at Smith Lake Park.
Okay.
So we would love to see you guys out there. We're going to have some awesome gifts and
Yes.
lots of great coupons, which a lot of people don't know that we do this as well. We partner with other small businesses.
Okay.
We have coupons to give our donors as well for Papa Murphy's. If you're up in Decatur, you get Witt's Barbecue, Papa Murphy's, and Buffalo Wild Wings. Down here in Coleman, you get Coleman Bowling and Papa Murphy's and Dewey's Cajun Shack,
Oh,
and
yeah.
lots of
Okay.
really neat stuff. So we like to really load up our donors with some goodies so that they really feel special.
Sure.
Because they are.
They are special. Wow, they are so special. Not only just to take time out of their busy schedule, but to go through that process. So, Shannon, share with us this morning. We were talking earlier about some situations that have happened, and you've got a great story for us this morning.
Well, when I started working here last year, we have a wonderful mobile team supervisor. His name is Corey Hunter, and unfortunately, he had a pretty catastrophic event in his family. He was at a blood drive, and he did what we always do. We call our friends and family to come donate. Hey, we're over here at Walgreens or Walmart or wherever. Come over and donate today. You're
Right.
eligible. So he got his brother on the bus to donate. 3 weeks later, his brother was shot in the chest and had to have over 30 units of blood. And after what we've talked about, you can imagine how long it takes to get 30 units of blood or more.
Wow.
And that is one person, one gunshot victim that needs that. Imagine all the car wrecks in Coleman, Morgan, and Lawrence counties.
Absolutely.
Anybody that gets shot, and any kind of, and it's not even so much that, daily surgeries
Yes.
can need blood product even when they don't think it did. I had surgery last year.
Right.
I was told 10 times, you don't need to donate for yourself. You don't need to donate. You're
Right.
fine. This surgery you don't ever need any blood product. My blood pressure bottomed out, and I got my own unit back.
Oh, wow.
If I hadn't donated for myself, I would have had to rely on the donations of volunteer blood donors.
Sure.
Because I could have died. And it's very scary when you realize that. So I've got some personal things to really be able to make it hit home for me, as well
Sure.
as what happened to our supervisor's brother. And I've had 2 parents with cancer,
Right.
and everyday cancer patients have to have blood product
Absolutely.
to fight the chemotherapy and get them to feeling better and help
Right.
them make it through. So it's a daily struggle with all the different aspects that are that draw upon the community blood supply.
Sure, absolutely. Boy, that story will make you really think, won't it? And just touches home that it could happen to anybody. So thank you for sharing with us this
Absolutely.
morning. And of course, thank you for what you do, and thanks to Life South for being in our community and right here in North Alabama. So Shannon, thank you. Good to see
Absolutely.
you.
Good to see you.
And of course, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with more right after this.